You hear me?
I can hear you.
We gotta adjust that attitude, brother. How are
You
we gonna
got
make
some
it better?
shit-eating grin on your face right now for some reason.
How are we gonna make it better?
How are we gonna make what better?
Your attitude.
It's fine.
No, it's not.
Podcast is out of steam, brother.
It's not out of steam. Your
It's
team got
dead.
bad, and now you're thinking the
No,
podcast is out of steam.
incorrect.
Yeah, you were excited to record after you got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Because that was a topic to talk about.
Okay, we don't have anything to talk about right now. Everyone's 6-7.
I understand that the
Okay,
premise is we're talking about everybody being 6 and 7, but we're not going to say anything different than what we talk about in a group chat, nor is it anything different than what we've talked about every podcast for
that's
the
just
entire
not
season.
true. Not everyone has the same record.
Okay. We're gonna say, oh, great, Chris's team. Look, Joe Burrow, he's playing the Bills. Let's see what he can do. Like, what the fuck am I gonna talk about?
Let me ask you a question. When people listen to the podcast, they're not like, oh, that was a shitty episode. They're always like, oh, when's the next one come out? So, whatever we're doing, people enjoy it. So, yes, maybe you don't think it's the best content, but
I don't know about that.
it has an audience. So, you can't just, poo-poo it over here.
I don't think it has an audience, to be honest with you. But
Who do you think listens?
Brian,
Derek listens.
sometimes maybe Derek.
Derek, no,
I don't
Derek
think
says he always
I
listens.
don't think Tom listens. I don't think Frank listens
Frank
unless it's
listens.
talk unless
Frank,
yeah, no, no. Frank only listens when we talk about Frank's team. And then you want to talk about you want to talk about only doing something when somebody is good. When Frank's team sucked, he didn't fucking listen to the podcast, but now his team's good and he wants to be on the podcast, right? So you could say the same fucking thing about it the other way.
it just goes.
Devin doesn't listen to the podcast. Matt doesn't listen to the podcast. Jagger doesn't listen to the podcast. I don't listen to the podcast. You don't listen
Record
to
the
the
podcast.
podcast because we're on right.
I don't listen to the
So
podcast either.
who are the listeners? Bino and Derek. And
No,
Derek said our
it's like
podcast was
at least
shit
half.
3 weeks
Josh
ago.
listens. Josh listens.
Derek said that our podcast was shit 3 weeks ago.
Well, just because someone had low
Well, so
energy
your
performance.
audience, so the reviews we're getting are poor too. So
Well,
what do you want to talk about?
because you had a bad performance that day,
That was not. No, that was
brother.
not.
Yes, you did.
No, it was not after the performance. That was last week. It was
No,
not
that
the
was
week
two
that
weeks
Derek
ago.
talked about it. No.
That was
We
wedding
didn't
week.
have a podcast last week.
That was wedding week. Or right after wedding week.
I don't think so.
Well, look, people listen. Josh listens for sure. Derek,
We're gonna have to confirm that.
he
How
does.
many go to the YouTube? Let's see. What pull up the stats.
All right, let's like on the last video. 10 views.
10 views.
So now it's not unique views, so there could be some overlap, but the one before that we did 11, 9, 17, 15, 20. I mean, maybe people are watching it twice because it's so good, but I don't know. All right, let's actually just get into it. 3, 2, 1. We are here in NFL Week 14. Joined here by my co-host and fellow 6-7 league member, Chris Falco. How are we feeling?
Big week ahead.
Big week
Playoffs came
ahead.
early.
I was trying to think back and trying to look back in league history if it's ever been this tight at the end of the year. It's kind of hard for me to look at because you can't look at like the last week standings, but based on what I was just seeing, it seemed like there was always like a wider margin. Like it was always like some team was at least 8-6, 9-5, that kind of thing, or 9-3, whatever it would be, 9-4. But this year it's been bunched up the whole season, and now it's just culminated to was it 9 out of 12 teams or 6-7?
No, nine teams are in the 8 teams are 6 and 7. Devin's 7 and 6, but he
Eight
could be knocked out
teams
of the playoffs.
or 6-7, and it is the year of
Correct.
6-7, which is We might be living in a simulation. I'm not sure.
Coincidentally,
That
it is.
that would be proof we were living in a simulation. Uh, so what we'll do is we'll like briefly recap some performances. I need to talk about my gripe and how, I think this league is fixed because of how I lost. And then we'll go into scenarios for next week. There's a lot of math going on. You really have to like consider the margin of difference, point differential. But yeah, we'll start off with that. Just in terms of what matchups last week, I think that, I fell apart at the end there, that last game. I mean, I can't even be mad at anything other than my team not scoring more than 89 points. It's really just
You
unacceptable.
can't.
I can't be upset about that. Now, did Hunter Henry catch a meaningless pass with like 4 minutes left and the Pats up by 15 on their own 15-yard line? Like
Yes.
literally had no variance on the game. They could have just ran the ball. They passed it for a first down, and it was legit the most meaningless play that meant so much that literally just ruined. I couldn't sleep. I was up until like 1 a.m.
Well, he also had a touchdown called back. So
That was crazy.
while you say a meaningless play, you also had the upside of an illegal shift, basically squashing a play that would have buried you by 6 points.
That was also I was
So
like that was on the same
so
drive.
you sort of kind of got out the bad emotions like a play before, where like it was a touchdown, and then you're like, yeah, not a touchdown. Now I'm still in it. Then the guy got a catch, and you're like, hey, I'm losing by one. Now, if you got a touchdown, you probably could have turned the TV off. But then because it got reversed and then he caught it, you had to watch the final drive, to which no balls went Wan'Dale Robinson's way.
Well, he was also open on a few
He was
different.
open underneath,
He was open
but he
on
was
a
just
few
dumping
stick
it to the
routes.
running back. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
He was 100% open on a
yeah,
few stick routes
yeah.
there. But yeah, when that pat like anytime you got like that kind of situation, a ball goes into the air and you got another guy going,
Yeah.
you're clenching your butt cheeks. You're just hoping
Yeah.
that that ball is not going to Hunter Henry. And on that touchdown, it was pretty quick they clawed that flag. So I was like, all right, like it was maybe like 1.5, 2 seconds, like, damn it, like this dude just scored a touchdown, and then there was a flag. So I wasn't that concerned, but then yeah, like I was still concerned that they were gonna give him another like donkey pass, and that's exactly what happened. So not again, I can't. I have to score more than 88 points. Now, I was looking into this after the game, trying to get a mulligan somehow. The Rams defense scored 2 points in a lot of leagues that I was seeing. Only 1 point in our league. I looked at the stats. I was up for another 30 minutes to an hour trying to confirm this, trying to claw my way back to victory. And the way it works, basically math out to they only get 1 point instead of 2 points. But these are the margins of victory. Because if I'm seven
Well, it's
six
because
right
they had -1, right?
-1 for 360 yards given up
Yeah.
because I think the Panthers scored a pick six. So that didn't even count against points against my defense, I'm pretty sure. So
Correct.
I was netted out to 0 for points allowed,
Right.
but
Right.
then -1 because of
Was the yards.
360
Yeah.
yards.
Right.
There's nothing. So I mean, I could have played Bo
But
Nix.
one yard, 1 point wouldn't have done it, right? You lost by
No, it was
one
one
point.
point. It was like 80. It was like 88.25 to like 89.1.
I thought you needed more than 1 point.
No, I had, where's my,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 1 point would have done it. Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Damn, that's a
So that's
tough
why I
one.
was up like, like stat correction. I would have won by 0.08 points if that happened,
Yeah.
but it didn't happen. And again, no one else to blame but myself. I could have played Bo Nix instead of Matt Stafford. I should have really checked the weather report to be honest, because it was kind of like a sloppy day out there in Carolina, which led to like Puka not really still had a good game, but now he doesn't score touchdowns because of Devontae Adams. Like Devontae
Yeah.
Adams had 2 touchdowns, Puka has 0 touchdowns all the time because of when they're in the red zone, he just goes straight to Adams. But anyway, that was good for the rest of the league because that meant that everyone's gonna be 6-7 except for Devin. who was like in the hunt for the playoffs. So I would have been 7-6. Now, I still think even if I won, I would have probably still had to beat Handler to get into the playoffs or make sure I was getting into the playoffs because my points aren't as high as Handler's. So if Handler beat me, he would have leapfrogged me, right? Um,
Yeah. Yeah, that was big for the league from a playoff perspective, you losing.
yeah,
Because like,
everyone's rooting again.
well,
Well,
because you have to
everyone's
assume
rooting for
like
Jagger.
well, no, there's two teams in the playoffs, so there's four spots.
Yeah.
There's Tom versus Derek and you versus Josh. So in reality, if Derek and Josh, if Derek and Josh win, then in theory they're in because they have high points. If they lose, then in theory you and Tom are in, right? At 7-6. Then it comes down to me versus Devin, right? If I beat Devin, we're both 7-7, which would knock out Josh and Derek or the loser of those games. But if Devin beats me and Brian loses, then there could be five teams at six and or there could be four teams at 6-7 or five teams at 6-7, and it would come down or whatever 6-8, and it would come down to points, which would have been Brian. So
Yeah.
basically, like you losing opened up a massive hole for me to be able to get into the playoffs.
Yeah, because if you win, well, are you saying that
Well,
even if you
so
lose, you could make the playoffs?
theoretically, yes. If like right now, Brian, Derek, and Josh all have higher points than me, right? And the same record. So if all three of those guys win, right?
Pulling up the standings here live here.
Okay. So Josh, Brian, Derek, right?
Are up top because they have more points.
Those three guys win, they're in.
Yeah.
If they lose, I'm screwed because I'm out. My points are gone, right?
Yeah.
But if I lose and those three guys win, then it becomes basically, and everybody else loses, it would be me. Oh no, well Corey's playing Adam, so it doesn't matter. One of those guys will be 7-6. So basically, you have to win to get in. It's a win and get in.
It's pretty much a win to get in. Now, Corey, I guess
The,
there
oh
is,
well, the other thing for me, which is a bad break for Devin, is my points, like based on last week, I leapfrogged him by 3 points.
yeah. I
So,
was
but
seeing
if he
that.
was up, but say he was up by 3 points, then if I beat him by less than 3 points, we'd have the same record and he would win
Yeah.
the tiebreaker. But now basically he has to beat me, otherwise I'll have more points than him and
Well,
leapfrog
yeah.
him.
I was going through that scenario today. I was like, okay, well, yeah, I guess Devin can't technically lose and still leap you. He if he had more points than you right now, he would be able to lose and still leap you.
Right. Correct.
So that was, the margins are very slim in this league. You can't leave any points on the bench, is what I've said. Although Matt left some points on the bench, um, but yeah, I mean, I think the one who's fallen the farthest, I mean, just has to be Adam. Corey's been on the biggest like kind of comeback trail here. Well, I guess Fade has got the 6 game winning streak, but he's already clinched. But Adam has lost 3 in a row. At one point, he was in second place, like I want to say almost midway through the year, and he just kind of fallen apart. And I got a question for Adam this week. What are we doing at QB? You playing Lamar? Or you playing Jared Goff against the Cowboys?
That's tough. I think you got to, I don't know, man.
I think you
That's
got
a
to play
tough one for
Goff,
Adam. I think you got, but some games he stinks, dude. Imagine you play him and then he lays an egg and that
but it's
costs you the
against the
season.
Cowboys.
Ah, I know.
Their
I
defense
know it.
got a little bit better progressively this year. But I mean, they're giving up yards. Like now, the Lions also won't probably potentially have Amon-Ra and Laporte is also out, so maybe he's got less weapons. But I feel like they're still gonna put up some air yards and points. So I feel like you gotta play Goff over Lamar. Like Lamar's just been terrible. Like he's borderline unstartable. Like he's had the last 3 games, he's had not even eight
Yeah, I
points.
mean, he stinks. He's not great.
He might be hurt. That might be some of it, but like I mean, it affects Derrick Henry because like I just feel like the Ravens offense is terrible, and unless they're scoring like 30 points, Derrick Henry doesn't really isn't really guaranteed like a touchdown
Right.
in a game. So, I mean, I think that's really been Adams. He also had Jamar Chase out, which was rough. But yeah, he's fallen pretty significantly. I wish I'd Chuba Hubbard did have a good game last week against some other guys on his team, but he's just fallen significantly. He's got a must-win game against Corey this week. And I mean, Corey's been kind of on a hot streak with 2 game win streak. So, or not 2 game, I think he's won probably 3 out of the last 4. But at one point, he was like absolutely cooked. And right now, we're saying 14% chance for Corey. So basically, in that doomsday scenario, like where there needs to be pretty much Corey needs to be 7-7, and then there needs to be a bunch of teams that are 6-8 that have less points, or there needs to be a bunch of 7-7 teams. Actually, no. Corey has the least amount of points. He'll never catch any of us in points.
He
To go,
has to. Well, yeah, he would have to catch somebody in points.
he would
So
have to, right?
basically, if you're looking at the standings, right, like there's gonna be a 7-6 team out of Derek's matchup and your matchup, right? There's two
Yes.
7-6 teams coming out of there, or say 7-7,
Yes.
right? Then you think, okay, then Adam and Corey. So there's three 7-7 teams, right?
Yes.
Then you look at Brian's playing Matt, he could win and be 7-7. And then if I beat Devin, right? Then in theory, there'd be two more 7-7 teams. So there'd be six 7-7 teams,
Uh-huh.
to which four would get in the playoffs, which most likely would be Derek, Brian, and Josh because of the points. And then it would be me, Devin, and whoever wins between Corey and AP. Points. I would beat Devin because I'm already have higher than him, and our record would have to be the same. So he'd be out. So it'd be between me and either Corey or Adam, to which Adam, if he puts up 65 points more than me, he could catch me. Corey would be hard. He'd have to catch up by a shit ton.
A pretty wide margin. I don't know. Maybe Corey thinks there's a way. I mean, it's still 14%. Based on the points, it doesn't seem like he can ever cover that. Like maybe if someone
Well,
scores like
no.
six.
But look, think of it this way: if Devin beats me, I'm out. Devin's in, right?
Yes. So then you'd be six and
Then
eight, and let's say Corey
hypothetically,
won.
correct,
So he'd be 7-7. Let's say
right?
I beat, or no, let's say like between me and Handler doesn't matter. Someone's gonna be 7-7. So then we'd still be better than Corey, and then someone out of Tom and
Right,
Derek.
because if Matt wins, right, then Brian's not 7-7. If Devin wins, then I'm not 7-7, right? So that essentially moves Corey potentially into the last playoff spot,
Yes, yes, that would be the scenario. He would need like
I
you to
think.
lose and Brian to lose so that he can
Correct.
leapfrog 2 of those teams, and then there'd be one spot left for him, I believe.
Correct.
So there's a will, there's a way, Corey. Now, I think the other problem with this week is there's a lot of buys. Obviously, I'm self-interested in this because my matchup, I have literally my 3 wide receivers are on bye, and Goodell has to do something about this. We cannot
Are
be
they?
having
That is cookies.
what?
That is
You didn't
cookies.
know that?
No, but I knew Josh had Kittle out and
Well,
Dart.
why is it
I mean,
like
he's got Kittle and Dart. You can't
yeah,
be
but
bitching and moaning. Yeah, those are two positions that he would have had the advantage at. I understand 3 wide receivers. I understand, but you still
that's
have
a
Puka
lot of wide
Nakua.
receivers.
But you
It's
still
not like
have
it's a
Puka Nakua.
QB and a one
And a
tight end.
tight end that usually people don't have backups for. I would argue that that's you're both equally not in a great position. I wouldn't say that one is significantly worse than the other.
I mean, how many points did
Jordan
Jackson
Love
Dart have?
stinks.
He does stink. He does stink. Jackson Dart had 13 points last week, though. I mean, I don't know who they're
Okay,
playing.
1 week, but I'm just saying, but he could also put up 30. He
Well,
stinks.
Jordan Love put up 25 points on Thanksgiving, brother. He was eating the turkey leg after.
Playing the Lions D, they stink. I mean, the Bears D stinks, I guess,
The
too.
Bears these things too, but that's a weather game there. Like anytime I see like one of my players on the Bears, the Steelers, the Packers, and I'm like, oh, I need these guys to make plays for me, and they're playing like a 20-degree game. I'm like, dude, I can't really have high expectations for this. And maybe that's just my dumb brain and how I'm thinking about it. Maybe cold games aren't low scoring necessarily, but like I just think that in cold environments, it's kind of hard to put up points.
Yeah.
Agree or disagree? Now, I got a few got my guys in Arizona, Pittsburgh. I got a few guys in domes. I got
There's
some.
a lot of co-mixing right here. There's a lot of mixing,
What do
right?
you
Like
mean?
there's a lot of outcomes that are all going to be like the only thing you got going for you in the Rams battle is that last week Devonta Adams had all the touchdowns. So you got to hope this week Puka gets the touchdowns and you get the stack. You got Derrick Henry, he's got Mark Andrews in the red zone.
I got Mark
Or
Andrews.
he's got you got Mark Andrews, he's got Zay Flowers, right? So basically the Rams and the Ravens offense, you guys are splitting.
Yeah,
Then you have Brian Thomas going against Indy, Ken Walker going against Atlanta, and the Rams defense against Arizona. Josh has two Dolphins going against the Jets. So
I'm gonna have
that's
to
not
go.
great for you. And then he's got the Seahawks D going against the Falcons offense, who's prone to turn the
Where
ball
do the
over,
players at MetLife typically
which
stay? Is it like in East Rutherford? Like, I'm just a little curious about where the Dolphins players would be staying on Saturday night.
I don't know.
Maybe
I
play a loud
think,
boombox.
yeah,
Nothing.
set some fireworks off.
Says firework. Just keep them out a little bit later that night. I think that the other thing I have going for me, I would say, is Matt Stafford. So even if he's throwing touchdowns to Devontae Adams, in a way, it cancels itself out. Now, obviously, wide receivers get more points for touchdowns than quarterbacks do. But I mean, that would somewhat nullify it. And one thing I'll say is Brian Thomas Jr., what do you got for me? What do you got
He
for me?
stinks.
He stinks. Everyone's saying you suck. Everyone's saying you're not going to do anything. You're washed. You were the worst first round pick and the worst trade person in this league's history. What are you going to do? What are you going to show? What are you going to show me this week in Indianapolis? It's a big game for the Colts and Jaguars because the Jaguars are technically in first place now, right? I think the Jags are in first place over the Colts.
Yes.
So it's a big game.
I think they are. I think they are.
It's a big game, and Brian Thomas, the Jags need you, but more importantly, I need you. So it's a pivotal matchup. I mean, I think if you're the rest of the league, you want me to win because Josh's points are pretty high. So, I mean, same way that you wanted Jack to win last week, you probably want me to win versus the Man Bear Drew Pig just because he's got a big points lead.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, it's just better. Like, it's obviously better for me to get into the playoffs, but I think if I win, I'm pretty much in, barring the only way I wouldn't. No, if I win and if I win, I get in.
is that confirmed?
I mean, the only way I don't get in if I win is if Adam
Leapfrogs you in points?
leapfrogged me in points. Because either, look, think of it, I'm in seventh, right? I beat Devin. I'm in sixth because he drops below me. Then it's either you or the next two closest people to me or you or Josh. So one of those would drop out. And then the ones behind me would be Tom, Adam, or Corey. To which, if Tom beats Derek, then Derek's out. So I'm ahead of Tom, or Tom leapfrog me, but that's the same. And then it's just Adam or Corey.
Well, yes. So I think Tom, if he beats you, he's still close enough. It's not super close, but
No, no, no.
42 points is
What I'm
42.
saying is Tom, it doesn't matter. If Tom beats Derek, then Derek's out.
Yes.
So Derek's out of the playoff spot. It doesn't matter.
But then he would swap with you if he had higher points. No?
But Derek's out.
Yeah, I'm saying, but what happens? Okay, if Derek's out, Devin's in.
No, Devin, if I beat Devin, I'm ahead of Devin no matter what. He can't be
Yes,
ahead of me. So what
he
I'm
can't be
then
ahead.
saying is, right? Look at the standings. If I beat Devin, I am in sixth. Devin is in seventh. All else equal, right?
Yes.
Then Derek is playing Tom, Brian is playing Matt, and Josh is playing you, right? So the five people ahead of me, three of them can't go anywhere, and two of them are Josh or Derek, right?
Hmm.
So if those two win, they're already ahead of me. I'm the sixth place team. If they lose, then you and Tom are behind me, and I become the fourth place team, right? Doesn't matter me, you, Tom, or four, five, six. It would just matter if the person who would then be in seventh, which would either be Devin, which he can't physically have more points than me, or
Not a
Adam or
possibility.
Corey if they were have more points this week.
Yes, Adam or Corey, but that's most likely not going to happen.
Not likely Corey. Adam could put up. I mean, if Jamar goes for 40, he could put up 150 and I could put up 60 or 80 like you did last week, 89 like you did last week. I
That
was
and that was
behind you
the other
last
thing
week.
about that was the other thing
I was
about
behind you last week and I fucking blew
I
by
know
you.
that was the other thing about the 89 point
Yeah.
performance is that it is detrimental to these tiebreaker scenarios. Like
Yeah, that's
you
a tough
just
one.
could not ask for worse timing for that, right? Okay. Anyway, there's yeah, I think the scenario is if you win, you're most probably in. And then I guess for me, if I'm in, I would also say I am potentially most probably in. Maybe not. I don't I think I have to it would be really beneficial if Brian loses to Matt for everybody, I would say. Sorry, Brian.
Right. I think that would be the
But
scenario.
I am sorry, but that is the outcome that we're rooting for here. Uh I mean, Matt's already in. Matt's looking like he might rest his guys. He's got Diggs on bye. He's got Theo Johnson
I
on
don't think
bye.
he's resting his guys.
He needs to put his players in, obviously. We will make that happen, but he does not have another. Does he have a tight end? He does not have a tight end, so he's gonna have to pick up a tight
He's
end.
gonna have to pick one up.
He may not want to.
That's
He also
just
picked up the Bucks. I see, Matt, you picked up the Bucks defense for this week. I think you dropped Shaheed or somebody else. I guess you're loading up for these like more cupcake matchups, but I don't know. Thought it was a little bit interesting here. Someone call me. What's going on? And I guess Brian's getting back on Mario and Hampton, but Brian has CMC on by, and I mean it's mostly CMC. Drake London questionable play. I think that would be a big boost to him. Do we have an injury report on Drake London?
I don't think he's playing.
Won't practice
I don't think
Wednesday.
we
He ain't
see
playing.
practice.
He's not playing. So I mean, really, Brian. I thought you had more guys on by, but it's really just CMC, which obviously is a huge hit. But you don't when you got Bishon what's his name?
I
Bishal
don't even know,
Tootin.
dude.
Tootin.
Tootin.
It's Tootin. You got him as your running back. It's not what you want heading into last week, but everyone's on bye. And I mean, Matt's got two guys on bye, so maybe Brian can pull it out. It's gonna be a close one, but yeah, we're all most of the league is gonna be rooting for Matt because he's already in. Doesn't really matter what he does. We don't have to talk about Jag and Fada because Fada clinched. Second
He
place,
did.
bye. He's good. Jag beat me last week, 4-9. So, Jaggers maintaining a somewhat respectable last place record. It's also good for the cumulative records that we're now
Right.
tracking, right? You don't want
Correct.
to hurt your 500 average so much. So he's tacking on wins. And then, yeah, we got you versus Devin. We got to preview this matchup. It's a big one. Now, as we mentioned, Amon Ra, questionable, but the game's tomorrow. If the game's on Sunday, maybe he plays. But have you got a better injury report than myself
Oh, Drake. Amon
about Amon
Ra.
Ra?
He's not playing.
He's not playing, right?
No, dude.
Tesla on my
You
team
think
might
this
get.
guy's playing?
I mean,
Oh,
I don't know. He's questionable. He's not doubtful.
he
Um,
ain't playing.
I don't think he's playing. I might start Tesla tomorrow just because I can't be starting Colston Loveland in my second flex spot. And I like the Lions offense, so I might be playing him. Uh Devin doesn't have any other buys. And you know what? Actually, let's talk about this. Yeah, Devin has Mike Evans because I dropped him. When I saw that play on Monday Night Football, I mean, I thought this dude was like paralyzed.
Yeah, but that's Mike Evans, bro. Mike
Like,
Evans
bro,
goes down like he's shot every year, and then he somehow is back.
dude,
Every year he does that.
he got
Every year.
concussed and broke
He
his
gets
collarbone
sniped. He
in the
gets
same
sniped.
in the
And then
same
he's back.
play.
He's always back. He's
In the
always
s-
back. Never
in the
count
same
Mike
play.
Evans out. Never count him out.
And now is he gonna play this week? That would be terrible for me because I really need a wide receiver. And he probably would have played.
I hope he plays and just is on a snap count and Devin plays him. That'd be huge.
Well, that's the
He's
risk
not
you.
going to play him now. He hears me. He's not going. He's going to listen to this and not play him.
Well, maybe you're playing some Jedi mind tricks because I've been hearing Xavier Worthy is potentially a drop candidate.
Well, yeah,
Or not a drop.
especially when he's going up against his big bro on the other side. It's tough.
Oh, he's going again. I didn't know that. His brother is
No,
on the Cowboys?
meaning I have Rasheed
Oh,
Rice.
oh, oh,
Saying it's hard for Devin to
oh,
play
oh.
Worthy when I got Rasheed Rice.
Oh, yes. I mean, Worthy's been terrible, so I don't know if you really
Stinks.
want to play him. I mean, RJ Harvey, what's this guy running back for 24? Okay, he's been actually playing well, but I apologize to RJ Harvey. I wasn't familiar with the game. Juwan Johnson, okay, it's seventh ranked tight end. I still don't love going with the second tight end in my flex. I mean, I'm currently doing it with Colston Loveland, but I don't know. That would be a toss up for me. Who am I playing? Mike Evans or a second tight end? I don't know. I think I gotta go with Mike Evans, to be honest with you. And yeah, he might be on a snap count, but you just gotta have to gamble here because it's the
Yeah.
last week of the season, and you're projected 126 points still with Amon-Ra out. So let me ask you
Well,
a
my
question
team's
here.
nasty. I would have been projected 130. Where the fuck
So
is this
so
going?
if you get in, what is your confidence level from 1 to 10?
Zero.
Why?
Because my team, I mean, because it's just not my year, man. I just know it's not my year.
Okay, but based on your roster, you have three of the top five wide receivers, you could say.
Yeah, I have a very good roster, Roberto, but here we are in this position. Okay. Do you understand that?
Running
We're
back
in this
six, but I'm saying
position.
just like, yes, you may have had some bad breaks. However, if you head into the playoffs, would you say you have one of the best, if not the best team?
One would like to think. One would like to make that assumption, but I just I can't.
On paper, if you look line by line,
What I've seen out of this team does not give me any confidence that they can win championship.
how much you win by last week? You smoked
20,
who'd you play?
Josh.
You smoked them by like 28?
I put up 152 with a zero from Amon Ra.
That is crazy. 152 on against 131. Josh didn't even have a bad game. He just
He got 30 from his defense though. So
Oh, third from the defense. Oh, yes, we did hear about
which
this.
which would have
Yes.
been which would have been
Yes.
another
Yeah,
issue
let's recap that one.
if I would have lost that one.
That would have been the end for you, right?
There would have been an issue.
That would have been over. I mean, yeah, I mean, look, I said Zay Flowers stunk from the beginning, and now I'm playing Josh this week, and it's probably going to be a Zay Flowers like
Yeah,
revenge game.
Zay saw that he was like, hey, you know what? My former squad,
Yeah.
they got a zero out of Amon Ra. I'm gonna throw a zero up too. We're gonna make
I'm
this one
I'm gonna
even.
throw a .6 up,
We're gonna make this one even.
0.67 up
Although,
here.
see, so the problem with Amon Ra going down was that he went down in the first quarter of the first game, right? So obviously the week was then you're in an uphill battle from the get go.
Yes.
Luckily, Christian Watson, great play over David Montgomery,
I told you to play him.
worked out,
I told you to play him.
which also great pickup by me, Christian Watson.
Yes.
Then CeeDee Lamb or Rasheed Rice go off, which is huge.
They go off.
Puts me right back in it.
They go off. Now,
So between Watson, Rice, and Lamb, it's sure to made up for Amon Ra that my projection wasn't that far off.
So you
But
had
then we get into the Sunday, and all of a sudden the 1 o'clocks roll around, and
oh,
the game starts calling back.
you, you, well, yes, but also I'll say one thing. You have a great team name working here. You can do lamb and rice. I mean, you have lamb and rice on Thanksgiving. And would you lamb, rice, Watson? I don't know, Watson's not a food, but lamb and rice put up 40 points for you. Watson puts up another 20. You're at like 60 points. Now, how upset were you when Amon
I
Ra
don't know,
got hurt?
70 points. Well,
Well,
I
70.
was, I was, I was. I mean, look. Here's the thing: if Amon Ra is hurt, like long to like, regardless, it was either I lost last week and was done, or if Amon Ra's hurt. In theory, that's a huge issue with my team. Could I
Yeah.
survive it potentially? But like, that's the difference maker between winning and losing is a player like Amon Ra. So like, I need to win this week, and then I need him to be healthy. If I win this
Now,
week and he's not healthy, then it's really going to be looking poor.
now, when he went down, did you think Thanksgiving was ruined?
No, no,
You weren't worried. You were like, okay, this is fine.
no.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
I was just
also,
because the heartbreak of the last 2 weeks, I was already prepared for the
oh, so
injury.
you're already out of it mentally.
I it was already a loss in my
You
mind.
were
I
in
was already
Consolina.
out.
You
I was
consoled
done.
you done changed your
Yeah,
team.
the season was over. The
Well,
done.
I
Yes, the done chain was
I
out at Thanksgiving
I don't
dinner.
know if you were joking with me, but you thought there was only 1 week left.
I thought there was only 1 week left.
So when you
I
lost to
could have
me,
sworn
you were like, it's
there was
over.
1 week. It's over. I was like, oh, it's over. There's no way I could catch up to these guys with the points.
Yeah. So
And here we
then
are.
then you realize, oh shit, let
Yeah,
me start
and we're
managing my
back.
team again. When did you pick up Christian Watson?
A couple weeks ago, I picked him up when he was coming back with my logic that they love throwing a deep ball, and
Love.
like without Jaden Reed, like Dontavian Wicks is slow as shit, and Romeo Doubs is weighed down by his oversized helmet, right? So like you got Christian Watson running rough shot all the way down the field. He's got to get balls thrown to him.
Yeah, I mean,
And then
look,
the other thing is, to your point, we're talking here about if my team can make it. This week, I'm relying on Joe Burrow and Christian Watson instead of Drake May and Amon Ross St. Brown, right? So, like,
Joe Burrow,
everybody,
another.
look, everybody has their own things, but I'm just saying that's another monkey wrench. Like, yeah, okay, those are two guys to replace, but in theory, Drake May is what, quarterback 3 or 4, and Amon Ross is wide receiver 3 or 4, and I'm missing those guys this week too.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that a lot of teams are screwed by the bye this week. And yeah, Amon-Ra injury. That's like I would say the major injury in fantasy right now. I can't really think of anybody else per se. So yeah, I mean, now Joe Burrow, I mean, another guy I dropped because he
I
was never
forgot
coming
you
back.
dropped him. I forgot you dropped him.
I dropped him once upon a time. I wasn't going to keep him the full year. And then I had Baker and Stafford, so I wasn't going to re-pick him up and put him in an IR spot when I think I had Mike Evans chilling on IR for a while. Then I had Brian Thomas on IR. So, two of my guys just aren't on my team, and maybe I could use them this week. I am starting Matt Stafford against the Cardinals, but yeah, so it's a big matchup between, yeah, I think Devin can still get into the playoffs without if he
He needs some
loses, he
help
can still
though.
get in, but he
He needs
really wants
Brian
to
to
win
lose.
this. What?
He need if Devin needs Brian to lose.
Yes, everyone needs Brian to lose.
Well, right, but
I think everyone needs Brian to lose. Devin has more points than I do. Um, Now I could potentially, I'm not that far off, so I would need to have a big performance by my team, which is looking a little bit slow. But, for Devin, it's really win and you're in. It's kind of win if you're, it's pretty much, yeah, it's pretty much a playoff game between you guys. Um, it's pretty much a playoff game between me and Josh, although I could see a scenario where I win, but I still don't necessarily get in because of the points. And then Corey and Adam is more like it's like, I don't know, when you have like a long shot at making the playoffs and you're like the last team, you're like the Jets who are like, 7-9 or whatever it is, and they have to like win and have like, a comet hit the earth or something, then they'll get into the playoffs.
yeah,
It's like the
yeah.
scenario we're going for there. And then it's a big matchup between some are calling it the Miller High highlight matchup of the week between Mayfair Mafia and Strictly Business here. So we're gonna have to preview this one as part of that sponsorship. The thing about this one is I looked at this game, and the first thing that stood out to me is that Tom has Saquon going on Monday night, right? And it's the only player going on Monday night in this matchup, right? Oh no, Derek's got
Scott
Jalen
Hurts.
Hurts. Never mind. Uh, that so it's going to come down to Monday night sweat, unfortunately for these teams. Uh, and I do think like for Tom, it's going to come down to Saquon more than it is for Derek. It's going to come down to Jalen Hurts. Saquon's been pretty bad all year. He is the running back 13, and he was drafted what number four? Tom's pick was number three or four.
Yeah. Yeah. Three.
Three, right? And he's running back 13. So really, he needs him to have a performance because Jahmyr Gibbs against the Cowboys is going to have a performance. You need to be able to at least nullify that somewhat with a 15 or 20 point game. Uh, so that's my initial thoughts. Now he also has Keenan Allen on Monday night. So Derek will have one guy, Tom will have two guys going. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, you got to think Derek's got the upper hand. I mean, significantly different from a projection standpoint. I think,
Significantly.
yeah, you need another bad week out of Gibbs, which is tough. That happened last week at 11 points. And you need Saquon to get the touchdowns and not Jalen Hurts. If that happens, he's got a chance to win. If it doesn't, he's toast. You also need Josh Allen to put up 20, at least 25,
He needs
because you're
like
not
a
getting.
he needs a
Yeah,
40 point game from Allen, is what I'm
right, right. I
thinking.
mean, essentially, yes.
He had
Josh Allen,
42
QB.
points
What is
in week
he?
11.
What is he? QB1.
He is QB1. He needs to play like QB1 because I'm looking across all these matchups and
Yeah.
I just think that Derek's just got the better matchups. And Jamison Williams gets a boost because if Amon Ra's not
Yeah.
playing,
Yeah.
he's pretty much the number one receiving option for them, maybe outside of Gibbs. Now Marvin Harrison Jr. may not
Got
be
a bad
playing this.
ankle or something.
He's got an ankle, right?
I think he's got a shin splint or
He's got
something.
a heel.
Heel
He's got
issue.
a
That
heel.
was close.
And
Ankle, shin.
if you're Derek, you gotta text this guy, get a hold of him
Yeah,
somehow because
yeah. His
you,
heel.
a heel, like what is that? You get hit by like a scooter or something. You need to tough that out and play.
I don't know.
Now I am pissed because Derek got Adonai Mitchell, and I was like, Derek, why are you getting Adonai Mitchell? I bid on him. I need him more than you. And I guess his rationale was, oh, Marvin Harrison Jr. is hurt, so I'm gonna get Adonai Mitchell, which like I'm not saying that Adonai Mitchell is somebody I want to start like overwhelmingly this week, but I think I would have started him over Colston Lovelady. I'm thinking about
Yeah,
the Mets reliever.
yeah. Get the love
Um,
lady.
it's gonna come now. Yeah, I think that if Derek wins, he's 100% in because of his points. If Tom wins, he is potentially not in because his points are pretty low, is what I'm gathering, right? I think Tom needs me to, no. I guess it doesn't really matter what happens between me and Josh, but I guess Tom would like to catch me in terms of points. He's only 18 points behind me, so he could potentially catch me, but it's definitely not like easy. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know if
mean
he's,
that's
huh?
no, I was just saying, like, yeah, it's certainly not easy, but what can you do?
But he's not really winning in per se. He's 36% chance, I'm 38%. I'm sure Tom's got all of the scenarios in his head, right? We should phone him in here. But if he beats Derek, then that's obviously the only way he's in. Tom could win and still not get in, I think. Derek, if he wins, he's 100% in.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
So those are really all of the scenarios and matchups.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting week. You know, I think just, looking at it, it is essentially a playoff week, right? Like it is kind of Frank and Matt get a second bye realistically, right? They get two buys this week and next week. You kind of have like a little mini 18 bracket between this week and next week, right? To face one of those guys in the semifinals. That's what it's become. So, when you ask for entertainment, this is what you're asking for, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is. This is really what you want. It's like the last day of the MLB season, last week of the NFL. This is what you really want, right?
Right.
Everyone's pretty much in it. There's not too much, I mean, other than teams to buy and Jagger, everyone's pretty much in it. So it should be an exciting
Should
last
be. I
week here. Um, any other thoughts, closing remarks?
think so. Let's see how it is. We'll have an end of the season special after next week. Get ready for the playoffs.
If you win,
The offs.
we're not
If
gonna
I
have it.
win,
Yeah, I'm
well,
saying
no,
we're
we'll
not.
need to do a pod. Well, no, we need to do a podcast for the playoffs.
Well, yes, we do, but it'll be a lot
Like,
less.
you need an
What
end
if
of
we're
the
both not
season
in?
playoffs. Well, it doesn't matter. You need an end of the season recap.
Yeah, but then you also need like a playoff like recap. We didn't even do
Well,
a playoff
right.
recap last year.
No, but I'm saying like you need an end of the season. Like I'm assuming we're doing a pod. We should be doing a podcast at the end of next week, getting ready for the playoffs. Then in theory, we
Yes.
probably can do a quick update after week one or skip it and then just do a podcast between the semifinal and the final and then do one after the final, although we didn't do one last
Yeah,
year, I
like
think.
we have to do a podcast for the Super Bowl.
Right, correct.
And whoever's in the
Yeah,
Super Bowl should come on the podcast.
potentially.
Maybe it's just us.
Maybe it's just us. We'll see.
Maybe.
We'll see.
I'm not banking on it. My team's a very nice team. But all right, till
We'll
next
see.
time,
Let's do it.
amigos. Good luck to
All
everyone
right.
out there.